So over the last couple of years, I've been teaching students both in India and I've also had students who have come in from the US. And the question that I usually get asked by my students is, do you see a difference between the way an Indian approaches the GMAT versus a native speaker would approach the GMAT or an American would approach the GMAT? And the answer is yes. And I think there is a significant difference in the way we tend to look at the test. So let me give you the three things that I think that as Indians we tend to do a little differently. So the first thing is, I've noticed that on sentence correction, one advice that I usually tell students is, do not focus on idioms, the exclusion of other things such as parallelism or modifiers or any basic rule. So first apply the basic rules. Don't get into clarity and concision and idiomatic usage till the very end. Only when you are in the last two answer choices and you have to decide between them based on these rules, do not do so. It's just that we tend not to have a very good year for English because it's just that we have been exposed to English which is again may not be I would just put it as suboptimal English, right? The second thing that I usually advise students is, especially when it comes to reading comprehension, do not try to understand the passage. I don't see this need to understand the entire passage in order to answer questions. So usually what I say is, the way we read, we tend to read it to understand, so that we can be asked anything based on that. But it doesn't work that way on the GMAT, right? So don't focus on understanding the whole passage. I don't see the, reason behind it. In fact, many a times on a tough passage, I may not be able to understand more than say 50 to 60% at any given point. But I would be able to go back to the passage if required to answer questions. So don't get away with this fixation of trying to understand the whole passage, right? The third thing, and something which is probably non-verbal, is the way Indians tend to approach maths. See, the way our curriculum is, it's not problem solving really. So if you understand, GMAT says it's problem solving. Whereas what we are very good at is, given a formula, we will be able to plug in values and we will be able to get an answer. On the GMAT, this is not going to work. Above the 70th percentile, above a 47, 48 draw score, this is not going to work. You would need to have a Swiss knife kind of approach where we have multiple ways to attack a problem. Right? So you could actually go from the answers to the questions, try to plug in values in the case of data sufficiency, but try to do something which is more than just putting in the values and getting the answer. Try to expand the way you solve the problem. So these are the three things that I would like to share with the Indian GMAT test takers. First, do not worry about idioms on sentence correction. Anyways, GMAT is reducing the focus on American idioms. Number two, reading comprehension, don't get fixated about understanding the entire passage. And number three, try to look at various ways in which a quant problem can be solved. So that's what we have for this week's Wednesday Wisdom. I'll share some more tips with you next week. Thank you.